You know what? Sounding funny, but it's probably helped him as a player. So when we do get him back, he's been, really immersing himself as a coach. He's out there with a script when he was out. He's looking at it. He's going through the plays. He's coming on the sideline. He's coaching guys up, and he's helping me, while he was out a little bit, coach. So it's probably helped him a little bit just to be able to take a step back and see it and really see why we're doing the things we're doing. So obviously, emotionally tough for him being his senior year to miss a couple games, but he's handled it unbelievably, and we just can't wait to get him back.
Do you think, how much more discipline do you think your linebackers need when you're facing a local quarterback like Evans, or even obviously pass games with Sorley and Thomas? Do you sort of need them to sort of be much more on their toes in terms of scrambles and whatnot?
Well, I mean, when you get that 11th guy in play, when he's an athlete, it puts a lot of stress on us as a defense on every one of our positions, but especially, those guys in the front seven, have to contain him, have to bottle him up. Got to always be aware of what the down and distance is. What plays do they like? What plays do they like with him? And then obviously there's those broken plays that are really, really tough to defend because there's no defense to call for a broken play and a guy being a magician back there and making things happen. So, Evans puts a lot of stress on all defenses, and we'll be ready for it. But again, what a great challenge for us this week. So we'll have our hands full with him.
That's something you do drills for, like those broken down plays? Do you have sort of any specific things you guys do, or is it sort of more just coaching and like hoping the instincts and sort of the fundamentals will come into play there?
Yeah, all we can do is really put them in a position to make a play. I have no idea what's going to happen on the first third and long or the first, really the first play of the game. I don't know what that guy's going to do, and that's part of what makes him a really, really good player. And we can just give our guys those fundamentals and the overall skeleton of the scheme and say, hey, listen, here's where we think he's going to be, and if he's not there, going to have to be a football player and make a play.
How important is it having Matt in the middle of that defense and what he's able to do from a knowledge standpoint?
It's critical to what we want to do. And for this thing to work, we've got to have a guy at our level, whether it be the middle linebacker or whoever, that really understands what we're trying to do and then can go execute it. It's one thing to understand it and say, oh, this is what you want me to do, but then go out there and execute it and make all those calls while the bullets are flying. It's a tough thing to do. A lot of times we probably glaze over it as coaches and say, hey, listen, go get this done. And we say, well, you should get it done. But, in the heat of the moment when things are happening and there's motions and shifts and you got those mobile quarterbacks and all those things are happening, it is absolutely critical to get that. And he's been phenomenal all year long, and Quentin Morginis has been good as his backup. So we're extremely blessed to have two guys that really understand and then can go execute it.
How important is having him out there especially with the prayer out, of that experience?
Well, I mean, he's had to really step up. We've got some guys mixed in, so we've played a lot of guys too. So having him out there, having all of our seniors out there, whether it be on the field, obviously most critical to have senior leadership out there, and Matt's done an unbelievable job. But we've had guys that have taken a lot of snaps all of a sudden this year. So as much as those injuries hurt you in the moment, they help you in the long run because we're mixing a lot of guys in. And when the stuff hits the fan, we're going to have some guys to be able to put in, which I feel comfortable with, and it'll be even better when we get some guys back.
So you guys are averaging less than 100 yards allowed on the ground per game this year. That's fifth in the country. That's probably a big key point of that is the linebackers, and then you're going against a team averaging almost 200, so it's going to be like strength for once instead of the passing offense versus your run defense. So how big do you think that matchup is? Who wins the battle on the ground, either your defense or their running game to deciding this outcome?
Well, it's huge. I mean, obviously there's a lot to change in football, spread offense and all that, but since the first day of football ever, whoever wins the ground game is going to win the game. I mean, that's going to have a great chance to win the game at least. So that's something that we stress every week. We try to make them one-dimensional, and obviously we know they're going to throw the ball and they're going to test our DBs. And we have ultimate confidence in those guys. They can go make a play in the back end. They've got ultimate confidence in us in the front seven, linebackers, D-line included, that we can shut down the run. And that's what we're going to try to do. That's what we try to do every week. So there's no secret recipe to what we're trying to do. We're trying to play fast. We're trying to fit it fast. We're trying to execute fast. We're trying to notice what they're doing based on formations fast. And hopefully that's going to come out in our favor in the end. And, I've got ultimate confidence in our guys that we can do it.
The theme for this season has been the pursuit of moving the country into the ACC title game. Given where you and Virginia are in the standings, how important is this game for accomplishing that overall goal?
I know it's probably cliche, but it's really important because it's the next game. I mean, it truly is, because you just can't think ahead. There's so much football to be played that you just got to be focused on right now. There's so many other teams around the country that don't have a chance to even win their division, let alone win a conference, let alone do it. If some teams can't even make a bowl game maybe by now, and we've got to be focused on this game. There's so much other things that can happen around it. We're in the thick of it. We're in a three-way tie, and this game matters. This game matters. And all the other ones coming up, they're going to matter when it's time. So for us and our guys, this is the next one, a big challenge, a ranked team coming in to our place where we're undefeated this season. That in itself is enough to focus on just this game, this week.
Do you think it was a benefit having almost an extra full week to prepare for Virginia Tech, or would you have rather had your guys come in just off the momentum of the 3-game winning streak?
Shoot, we love the bye week. It gives us a chance to do some different things, bring in some surprises maybe. You never know. And it allows us to obviously get healthy. So a bye week is always welcomed, especially right in the middle of the season when we've had some guys banged up and guys are healthy now, and it allowed us to kind of refocus some things and tweak some things. So, we love it. I'd rather have that than just play 12 games through.
Are you happy you've been able to get some young guys into the game like right well and Sean, rather than play seniors all the time, and give yourself a little bit of cushion going into next season?
Absolutely. And not even just next season. I mean, we got another 5 games to go. So, anything can happen on any play. That's why I said it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise to have some guys, obviously not out for the year, you don't hope, but guys that can come back and play for you. But as you're mixing in young guys, we're getting ready for the home stretch. There's a lot of football to be played, so you never know what can happen. And we've got shuttled some guys in, so they're going to be ready. Guys are ready on the sideline.
As far as the young guys go, have you gotten in enough of those guys like you'd like to do?
I think so. I think we're in a good spot right now. We're in a good spot to gain some guys back, right, off injury. So we're in a good spot where guys are really understanding of taking some bullets. So it's not just like, hey, when you get in the game, you've never been in a game. If this happens, now we can say, hey, remember when at North Carolina, remember when at Virginia, remember when that happened. Now they can kind of feed off that experience. So I'm pretty happy where we're at.
What are your thoughts on how Sean's progressing?
Really well, having a really good season for us. And he's come a long way from being a defensive back and having to really, again, that's a whole different cerebral world back there when you're talking about coverages and adjusting to all those things, and then coming down to our level and having to adjust to all of it, the run and the pass game. And he's done a phenomenal job out there in space on his own. He's on his own little island out there as offenses try to attack that field linebacker all the time. So he's done a really good job. I've been really pleased with him.
Experience of safety, how much do you think that prepared him to be on that island and kind of handle that?
I think the mentality helps you as a DB. You know that you're the last line of defense, and he's probably enjoying the fact that the DBs cover us up at linebacker, and if we make a mistake, shoot, they're right behind us. So I think mentality-wise, it's helped him have kind of a little bit of that killer instinct and not be afraid to be out there.